So it's time to go racing here with the X30 Super. These karts can do over 130 kilometres an hour. Not necessarily at this track, but they can still do about 120 kilometres an hour, which is fast enough, isn't it? When you've got no seatbelt, you're sat about 1 centimetre from the ground, and you have no suspension, no ABS, none of the luxuries of a car. So, and as a driver, it's going to feel even quicker than that. There is the grid on screen. Rinus van Kamp, the Dutch driver for Dams Racing, on pole position by nearly 0.4 of a second yesterday. His first ever weekend racing these type of karts. Very much a serious front-running competitor in European racing though, and Victor Åberg, the Swedish driver, very experienced, very quick racer, is alongside for PDB. He was only a fraction quicker than his teammate Taylor Greenfield, the Peruvian driver. The South American in kart 416 starts third. For Italy, Giacomo Rossi was almost matching the pace of the two PDB drivers as well, was within a few thousandths of a second. So kart number 413 is going to be lining up fourth on the grids, and Giacomo here carrying the hopes of the Italians. He's not the only Italian in the race, but he's the best place to get a result here. From Belgium, Marnik Batron in kart number 419. He's going to be starting fifth on the grid, and he too was almost as quick as a second on the grid. So another few thousandths, and he could have been on the front row of the grid, but the SFP Racing driver at least is on the inside of row one. Konstantin Scholl, cousin of Nicholas Scholl, who is a leading European racer in Senior Rotax Max. Konstantin Scholl, his cousin, a very quick driver as well in X30 these days. Row four then, we've got Geoffrey Rouchet, the French driver, and Giuseppe Pierotti from Italy. Row five from Portugal, Bruno Ponte, and from France, Eric Chapon. They're coming ready for the start, Matt. It's going to be an 11-lap race.
Certainly is. Here they go then for the start of this super race. They head down towards the first corner. Great start there from Giacomo Rossi, who gets to the inside line straight off, but round the outside, Victor Åberg. We haven't seen that done so far today. He's going to lose out though down towards turn number 3. He's just going to slot into second place ahead of teammate there, Taylor Greenfield. So a cracking start from Victor first off. He tried his best to go right round the outside of our poleman, Rinus van Kamp, but in the end he has to slot back into that second place. But the top 3 already just starting to eke out a little gap now. Down towards turn 7 they head for the first time. It is Rinus van Kamp that leads the way. Second for Victor Åberg. Third place is then Taylor Greenfield, just looking again down towards turn number 9 to try and make a move. And then behind that we've got a good scrap going on as well here. Trying to get through, by the looks of it, is going to be the kart of Konstantin Scholl, I think, in 420. So let's see as they emerge through the final corner what's happening for 4th and 5th place. In fact, it's 413 that's up there. That's going to be Giacomo Rossi. Let's see who is going to put the pressure onto him now as they head through. It's going to be the Belgian racer, which is Marnik Batron. Again, great little scrap out front, great scrap for 4th, and then the rest of the field have all kept it on the track at the end of the first lap.
That's right, all 10 of them still running, and at the end of the first lap, 0.2 of a second is the advantage for the Dams Racing driver, Rinus van Kamp, the Dutchman, ahead of the Swedish driver, Victor Åberg. Third place for Taylor Greenfield, so the top 3 have held station, so too as 4th. Rossi remaining in 4th position, so it's a good, clean, steady start by everybody in this race so far. The top 3 have begun to break away from Rossi, who, as you say, Matt, is busy keeping at bay Marnik Batron, the Belgian driver in the dark-coloured livery, kart number 419. But here are the top 3, whizzing around this final turn. Fantastic, spectacular to watch. They're noisy, they're fast. The smell of these karts is great as they whiz past. And the X30 Euro Series sees the top 3 within a couple of tenths of a second of each other. But on this lap, Victor Åberg may be just starting to edge away from his teammate Taylor Greenfield, and trying his best here, Matt, to hang on to the super quick Dutchman.
Yeah, it certainly is, as they head their way down the back straight once more. Just putting a little bit of a gap between himself and Victor Åberg now, so that is starting to form. But again, as we know, we've got a long race to come here. And look at this scrap for 4th place as well. This is constantly changing, because at the head of it at the minute is Marnik Batron. We've got now up into 5th place the kart of Konstantin Scholl. So gradually he's working his way through, taking place after place, lap after lap at the minute. So watch out for that blue and white kart as they head through the final corner. And we see some great action through here, some good sideways action as well. So it just shows that the racers are pushing to the edge of adhesion for the time being. So they head down through the first corner, 4th, 5th and 6th, and there goes Konstantin Scholl for a move down at turn number 3. Down the inside he dives. Can he hold it on the exit of the corner? He may not be able to, as once again fighting back is Batron again. Konstantin Scholl tried to swap sides there, but it didn't quite work, so he now is under threat from the next 2 in line, and they're going to try and go through here, which is going to be Giacomo Rossi, and the other one as well in the mix is 418, which is going to be the man from the back here, Eric Chapon. So all of those have gone through, and just like that again, one slight mistake, you go from 3rd down to 5th place. But again, Konstantin Scholl tries to fight back, and he's going to settle into probably 7th place by the looks of it.
So it was all calm, wasn't it, for the first 2 laps? Now they're going at it hammer and tongs, but they're number 420. Teammate to the race leader for Dums Racing, Konstantin Scholl, getting to the head of that group. Losing out a couple of laps ago, but coming back up the order is Rossi. There he is, number 413. So he's back to 5th place now, but he is still behind Batrin, the Belgian driver, who did well, didn't he, to get back ahead of Konstantin Scholl when he was on the difficult line, the outside line through turn 3, but he snatched it back at turn 4 before they got back onto the rear straight. So 4 laps gone. We're a third of the way through the race. More than half a second clear now is Rinus van Kalmthout, whose long distance pace has been very good as well. But he and Victor Oberg this morning kept trading fastest laps in warm-up and were very, very evenly matched. And not too much of a surprise to see Eric Chapon coming through the field as well, because he was pretty quick in warm-up this morning. So Oberg second, third for Taylor Greenfield. Big gap back then, 2 seconds, 1.5 seconds further back is Batrin in 4th place, 5th place for Rossi, and 6th place at the moment for the 411 car of Bruno Ponte, who's also come to the back of the field. So Konstantin Scholl settling into 7th, Jeffrey Rouchet 8th, Chapon, who was up into the top 6 very briefly, down to 9th place now, and still running in 10th position is Giuseppe Pierotti, the other Italian in the field. But the gap has grown again on that lap by 0.2 of a second. The main battle to watch, I think, Matt's for 4th place, because Rossi is started to come back at Batrin.
Yeah, he certainly is. So here they are then, 4th and 5th, very close indeed. So you're absolutely right, Chris. Those two are separated by pretty much nothing at the minute as they head their way down towards the next to the hairpins at turn number 9. Can Giacomo Rossi look for a move here? Nope, not at the minute. He'll just sweep wide, keeping the toe of our 4th place man, and possibly try and move down at turn number 1. So as they come through the final corner, let's have a look. Is he close enough? Probably not at the minute again. So he's got to wait probably another lap here, or is he going to surprise me and dart out at the last minute? Nope, still stays there in 5th position, but these are having a great scrap for 4th and 5th places at the minute. They are 2.5 seconds adrift of the top 3. So again, just shows the pace of those 3 out front. Rinus van Kalmthout, the man in 2nd, Victor Oberg, and again Taylor Greenfield, they're in 3rd place. And on that previous lap, Victor Oberg drops another 0.3 of a second to our race leader. There's the move down the inside line for 4th place. Great bit of sizing up there from our man now in 4th place. So a great job has been done by the Italian, Giacomo Rossi, who moves through. And look who's now next on the case here. Watch out for the Portuguese racer, Bruno Ponte, from the back of the grid. 9th on the grid he started, but now up into 6th and looking again to maybe make a move on our Belgian racer, Marnik Batron, as they head on to the next of our laps, the top 3 through, and there goes the fight for 4th, 5th and 6th.
Fastest lap of the race goes to the race leader, Rinus van Kalmthout, on that one, faster than anybody in sectors 1 and 2. Overall, the fastest lap with a 48.830, so nearly 0.2 quicker on that lap than Victor Oberg, who suddenly is a second and a half behind him. There is Victor, number 417 on your screens. If you're watching on the live stream, welcome along. Hope you're enjoying the coverage so far. And here's the battle for 2nd place that you're watching online. The 2 teammates for PDB Racing, Taylor Greenfield, looking good in 3rd place, hanging on to Victor Oberg and working together with him. There's not much between those two. There hasn't been in practice, there hasn't been in qualifying. So it's going to be hard for Taylor to find a way through here. And being teammates, you won't want to risk both of them having an accident. So it'll only be if he gets a clear-cut chance, I think, at this early stage of the weekend, that he'll go for it. I'm sure it'll be a different story tomorrow when we get to the pre-finals and the finals, because it'll be every man for himself. But these two working together. Victor Oberg isn't really giving him any chances at the moment. And the race leader goes through. 1.6 seconds the advantage. So again, a fraction quicker on that lap was the man who holds the fastest lap of the race so far, Rinus van Kalmthout. Behind these pair, we got Giacomo Rossi pulling away now from Batrin, so 4th and 5th they are, and still from the back of the grid, Bruno Ponte in 6th place. In fact, he is now onto the tail, or he was onto the tail of Batrin, until he got just overtaken by Konstantin Scholl. So Scholl gets past Ponte up to 6th place, only half a second behind the Belgian driver, Batrin in 5th position.
And this fight for 2nd place is far from over at the minute between the 2 teammates as they head down towards the first corner. Still just about holding it is Victor Oberg in 2nd, but Taylor Greenfield, who's very, very racy at the minute. He's looking at every single corner to try and get through. He's got better lines through the lights of turns 3 and 4, and he's got good grip in that kart as well. So I'm just wondering if there's been more tyre preservation for Taylor Greenfield, because he seems to have closed that gap, and he seems to be the man who wants to get through at the minute. So I wonder if Victor Oberg has tried a little bit too hard early on to try and keep with Rinus van Kalmthout, who in fact is heading this race now by near enough 2 seconds. That's an astonishing achievement once more. Just like qualifying, his pace has continued into the races as well. But what can these two do for 2nd and 3rd place? We're about to come through now and start what will be the last lap lap of the race. So on his way goes Rinus van Kamphout, second and third, once again all over the curb on the entrance and the exit of the corner. Down towards turn one they head, still Victor Oberg ahead of Taylor Greenfield. Fourth place is Giacomo Rossi. Fifth place is still the Belgian racer at the minute, which is Marnok Batron. But what is going to happen with this fight for second place? I'm sure Greenfield's going to try for a move, but you're right, no contact between teammates. That's the worst thing that could happen.
Ponte and Scholl swapped places on the last lap. They swapped again on this lap, so Scholl back up to sixth position. But here, with half a lap to go into the turn 7 hairpin, are the battle for second and third. Over his shoulder looks Victor Oberg. Taylor Greenfield tries to look around the outside into the hairpin at turn 9. They both get on the accelerator. Short sprint then into the next hairpin at turn 10. Through the left they go. Victor Oberg has just got to keep it neat and tidy here. He's looking over his shoulder all the time. The race leader through the final corner becomes the race winner. Rinus van Kamphout wins on his maiden run in an X30 kart, and holding on to second place is Victor Oberg over the line, just 1/10 of a second clear of Taylor Greenfield. Rossi comes home on his own in fourth place. Batrin in fifth position. Scholl sixth. Ponte in seventh. And then Rouchet in 8th position, Chapon in 9th, and rounding out all of the finishers, Pierotti, the Italian driver. So that is how they finish up. The fastest lap of the race with a few to go went to Rinus van Kamphout with a 48.830 second lap. And a convincing victory for Rinus van Kamphout. He very, very much is the man to be here. He had the edge in qualifying, and he's carried that through to the race. So for Dams Racing, Rinus van Kamphout wins after 11 laps by 2.5 seconds from the two PDB Racing teammates, Victor Oberg and Taylor Greenfield, who are tied together across the line. Giacomo Rossi comes home in fourth place. Marnok Batrin in fifth. Constantin Scholl in sixth position after a good battle with Bruno Ponte. Geoffrey Rouchet, Eric Chapon, and Giuseppe Pierotti round out the